ago, more than 1 year or 2 years ago, when we talk about AI. And you can see the past 2 years, there's a lot of changes in AI and all that. So today I'd like to actually share with you further, not just AI, but humanoids, and also how this is actually linked to our mind development. Because now more people are also experiencing this and then having their own thoughts, and of course also affected in terms of their life with the presence of AI, and very soon with presence of humanoid as well. Okay, so let us actually begin today's journey. May I know roughly what time I need to stop?
11:30.
Huh?
11:30.
11:30. Okay.
11:30.
Okay, thank you. 11:30. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so I'm actually from Utah. We have two campuses. One is in Sungai Long near KL, and all the other one in Kampa. This is actually the Kampa campus lah. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. May I know if I stand here better for your recording or over there?
Anywhere.
Ah, here is better.
There's another recorder.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, yeah. Because I'm used to actually pointing at the slide and then explaining and all that. Okay, so I hope you don't mind I stay a little bit back so that I can show it to you. Okay, so let's move on for this very interesting journey. Huh? Yeah, I taught AI, for information, I taught AI about 20 years ago. This was in the university. But after that, I'll assume with the I also took up some administrative procedure, so I think I have also a lot of things to catch up as well. Okay, thank you. This is okay. So let us look at this technological development in human history. Yeah, if you look at the upper left corner, there is this the Stone Age. You know what is so special about Stone Age? During the Stone Age, it was the first time that human being knows how to use other things like stones to help them in their daily work. Okay, so there's now that besides our own body, our hands, our legs and all that, we are now using stones to help us in cutting, in fighting with animals and all that. So this is how we use our intelligence to actually use other tools to help in our life and work. Next, we found out about the use of the fire to help us to cook and also to actually fight away the animals. Then you have the agriculture, you know how to plant the agricultural product so that more people can live. And because of this one, we no longer need to actually migrate from one place to the other place. We can stay. And of course, with the wheel, then you can have transportation. Then later we create actually words and all that so that we can communicate, and in fact we set up the education system so that we can transfer our knowledge to the next generations. And after that, the first industrial revolutions with the steam engine, we can actually have more external steam power to help us do our work. Then with the introduction of electricity system, then life is actually becoming easier because a lot of things can be driven by electricity even now. And on top of that one, also because of the light bulbs. Because of light bulb, we conquer the darkness so that even nighttime we can do things and all that. And recently, for the past 10, 15 years, we are actually introduced with this internet, smartphone, computers and all that. So we use this one to do communication, to do a lot of works and all that. Okay, so why is it so special with the AI era? Maybe AI is just something that an era where we actually are introduced, or we are actually utilizing some tools for our work and for our life. Okay, but one thing that actually differentiate between the AI era and the rest in front it is because in the past, all those inventions, technological tools that we have developed, they actually help us in our work, but always actually in the form of convenience, in the forms of labor, uh, power and all that. But this is the first time that we have an assistant that can help us in terms of knowledge, in terms of sharing of intelligence. First time, okay? That is why it is very important. It is actually breakthrough and also will be a very important milestone for human development. So by knowing all this one, let's look at the next thing. Uh, we think about intelligence. Okay. Now, because of this one, we have to relook at what kind of education we normally need for our life, for our young kids and for children, even for us who are now actually being introduced, even the AI and also the humanoids. So imagine in the past, during the forest time, we need to have forest survival intelligence. Every day, things may be different. You never know. Today, you may actually meet with snakes or lion or tiger or whatever. You never know, right? And you also don't know that whether beyond today where you can find food or whatever. So every day you are learning new things. So you learn everywhere, every time. Okay, and you have to face all the uncertainty the next day. You are never sure that, even you are unsure that what happened in a week time or a month time, what will happen to you. Okay, so that's why we developed this kind of intelligence when we were in the forest. And then later, because we set up towns, cities and all that, and then we have to learn about how to deal with people, for example, in the market. And what is different from the market and also the forest is actually, first time, we may actually subject to people telling lies to us. Right? In the forest, no, I think in the forest is, you're facing with the nature, with the animals, and they don't tell lies. But in the market, you start realize that actually we need to learn about how to know which are the scams, how to know how to trust people and all. So because of that one, we develop the new intelligence. Sometimes we say people who are actually street smart, they are able to deal with all this kind of thing. Okay. Now next, then slowly because of the development of the business and industry and all that, more and more people actually work in the office environments. So office environment have another type of survival intelligence, office politics. All right. So it's no longer just actually lies or whatever. It's actually something more detailed and more complex as well about office politics and what. So while we are actually quite settled down with all this kind of thing, we thought that the life in future will be smooth and all that and planned. If I take up this degree in future, this is how I will work for, and then hopefully one day after I retire, I can have this peaceful life and all that. In the past, it was quite common that we think about this one, but the recent disruptions tell us that no, it's no longer like that one. The digital life was brought to us, and then we are actually competing with the young people at the same time. They are learned that sometimes they say they are digital native, and we are digital migrants. Okay, we have to learn. We have to compete with them how to utilize this one. Okay, and then there's also disruption in the sense that every day when you actually read news, when you read messages and all that, you'll be subject to all kinds of disruptive information. Some will be good ones, some will be the bad one and all that. In the digital media, in the digital age, we are like actually world leaders. No, what happened in different parts of the world, immediately you know, and sometimes people may actually say that, oh, what will happen? And then it's like every one of us are like world leaders, no? We have to worry about many things. In the past, we may not know even something happened. So this is disruption. And now the AI era is coming together with the humanoids, the robots, that's going to change our world again. Who knows? Maybe I say that maybe within a year or two, maybe next time when they come to give a talk, there will be some robots sitting down there arguing with me because they are so intelligent. So who knows and all that. So that is something that we have to understand the current world. So if you look at this point that you think about education, you think about for your children, think about yourself and all, you know that we must actually develop our habits of lifelong learning. That is a must. Everyone, at no matter which stage you are, even after retirement, we need to continue to learn. That's one thing. So this is about the intelligence part. This is about survival for work and for survival. This is something that we have to do, learning and also educations and all that. But on top of that one, there's also another level of experience which is very important to deal with and all that. It's what we call the life experience. Okay, we have to learn because nowadays many people may actually develop themselves, grow up and all that by just actually watching all the YouTube and all that. They may not know the actual world, the physical world and all that. So when they face some challenge, it's not like in the digital world. No, when you face a challenge, what you do, you just move to the next page. Remember, now it's quite common. You read Instagram, TikTok, whatever. If you don't like, move to the next one. It won't really do real harm in that sense. But when in life they are faced with these challenges, they don't know how to handle, especially their mind, how to handle and all that. So that means that life experience is still very important. Bringing the children to the forest, walking along the seesaw, and then going to the market and all that. All this life experience continues to be very important because we are still living a physical life. We how to appreciate a good cup of coffee, a good Sunday morning, and the sharing of this in knowledge and all these are still very important. But in modern days, sometimes parents, sometimes students forget about the importance of life experience. And of course, to some of them, maybe there's only one life experience, which is the digital life. Maybe it's different world. Okay, and on top of this one is about life wisdom. What they know about the life itself, what they know about what Buddha has taught us, and what we know about the actual uh, the actual operation or actual not actually operation, the actual happenings in the universe that you can see cause, effect, and conditions. You see a lot of things and all that. And this life wisdom, a lot of time, will help us to make good decisions, help us to live a better life in this challenging world. Okay, so in terms of education and our own experience, I would like to take this slide to actually remind everybody of us that while we are actually eagerly learning about the knowledge and developing our intelligence to face the challenge of digital world and AI and all that, please don't forget about cultivating ourselves, our mind, in with better, good life experience and also our life wisdom. Because education has these three levels. Okay, so after knowing this one, let us look at the next one. Let me see. Okay, so all this new wave of technologies coming towards us. Still, no, you never know. Sometimes when you wake up, suddenly you say that something was announced over the midnight time and all that. Okay, so with all this wave of technology coming towards your direction, how do we survive? How do we survive? How do we? So the best thing is actually when you are in ocean facing all these waves coming, the most important thing is actually you know how to swim. Okay, you know how to swim. It doesn't mean that you just watch a YouTube video and you know how to swim. Swim, you have to act on it. You have to refer to the video, have to find the coach, and then you find those people who know how to swim. You have to really go into and then learn how to swim. Oh, so what I'm trying to tell you is actually the moment you know about all these things, as we know, lifelong learning. So don't hesitate to go and learn about it. Learn about AI, learn about how to use humanoid and other things as well. Okay, learning is very important. And by actually having yourself learning to swim in these oceans of wave, technological wave, then we can survive. And don't forget, when you are trying to actually do this one, of course, you need to actually have the strength of your heart, your mindful strength and all that is very important because it is uncertain, it's a lot of changes, disruptive and all that. So you have to have a calm mind and courage and determination to swim through the ocean. Don't worry. When you actually look around, many other people are swimming together. We help each other. Okay, we help each other. So that's why this is how we can actually face the challenge of the technological wave. Okay, so by knowing all this one, let us look at education. Education is a very basic thing that everybody knows, and from young until we age and all that, it is important. So let me see. Okay, so think about it. This question. Let me actually ask parents, ask a lot of people. When people ask you, what do you want? What do you wish for your children? You ask most of the parents, they will actually normally say, wishing every child to be well, healthy, and happy. Am I right? You ask most of the parents, this is what they wish their children to be. Sometimes you may not see that. Okay, people will not say that. Okay, people will generally not say that. Okay, I want him to be the CEO of which company. I want it to be very rich and all, because most of people very simple one is actually just wish them to be well, healthy, and happy. But how do you make sure that your education prepare for that? So sometimes we say that, okay, maybe we should give them the best kindergarten's education. Maybe we should send them to the best primary school and high school, universities, and all that. But how long can you go along with your children? How long you can be next to them so that they are doing something that you wish, but maybe they don't wish. All right. So coming to education, in fact, you look at the original intention of education is very simple. These two things. The first one is towards lifelong learning. Towards lifelong learning. That means that continue throughout the whole age of the development and all that, continue to want to learn something. That's very important because that is actually so that I'm never lagging behind, able to cope with the demand of the industry, able to cope with the life, able to continue to stay actually relevant with the industry, with the world, with the society towards lifelong learning. So that means from young until university, until after during the work time, and also after retirement, continue to learn. Very important. This is the moment of towards upwards. Okay. Then there's another one is loving kindness. Why is it loving kindness is very important? Because you know that if my children actually continue to develop themselves, they become the CTO of a big company in the whole world. But if without guidance of this loving kindness, he or she may use the power, the technology, the intelligence to do something which is not lawful, which may harm more people now because of the power of this the latest digital power or technological power and all that. So it's very important we have loving kindness. And along the way, since a very small until retirement age, if he can have this loving kindness, help other people, definitely there will be a lot of people who want to help them, who help them back and all that. So that means that even when we were not around, you are sure that with his character, with his loving kindness and all that, somebody will come in to help them. So that, in fact, with this with this lifelong learning and loving kindness, these are the two things that can help them to continue with their life, and then make sure that in future they will be well, healthy, and happy. So You look at it, this slide is different from sometimes you may say it's quite different from normal thought that, oh, you have to prepare the best education resources, the best training, the best teacher, and then all that. But a lot of scientific are telling us, in fact, it's very simple. First of all, the joy, the passion of learning, lifelong learning, and then loving kindness. Later, I'll share with you some example. So this very, but in Buddhist points of view, if you carefully look at this one, it also aligns with what Buddha has taught us. Continue to develop ourselves so that we actually achieve wisdom. All right? And continue to develop ourselves so that we have this metta, that we are willing to help other people and all that. It is what what we know that these are the two paths. Next. Now let us, after knowing about what we want to have and want to train, let us look at the history. In the previous talk, I've also explained to you, I've also shown this to you. If you look at the evolutions of economy, okay, especially during, if you look at the last column here, human resource. Now, agricultural revolution time, you need to have a lot of slave of labor worker. They work in the land and all that, okay? And then during the time of the first industrial revolutions, you need to have these blue-collar workers in the factory. And the knowledge that the blue-collar worker need to have is actually more than the labor, the slave and all that. Because how to operate the machine, how to even know all these things, electricity, safety and all that. Okay, but then we move to the second industrial revolutions, because of business and all that, a lot of business process. So you can see that more white collar workers are being hired, and they need to know the legal document, they need to know about finance, they need to know about office administration, they need to know how to manage small team, how to collaborate and how to communicate and all that. So definitely they know more. So at that time we need a lot of white collar workers. And during the third industrial revolution, because the economy has gone towards a global economy, at that time we always talk about knowledge workers. If you have a knowledge, you'll be able to do the job. Okay. But now with the digital era, with the AI coming, we are thinking it to be another upgrade of that. So after knowledge worker, what should we upgrade? Okay, we believe that, of course, in order to do the work and all that, you still need to have the knowledge. Okay, but now with ChatGPT, with DeepSeek, I easily ask the questions, and you have whatever you need to know. Okay. In the past, you have to see whom should I call to get the answer. But now with DeepSeek, ChatGPT is everywhere. So it shows that having knowledge itself is not an advantage anymore, because everybody, if they are willing to seek the help, and in future, who knows, the robots standing next to us will be more knowledgeable than us. Okay, but what differentiates now is actually whether we have the intelligence to know that which knowledge is applicable, which knowledge is good, which is not good. So it needs to go to the next level. Above the knowledge level is actually the intelligence level. And then beyond intelligence, there's actually the level of wisdom. The level of wisdom to decide that intelligence allows us to use knowledge to solve problems, to even create new knowledge, but it can be used for good things and bad things. So you need to go to the next level of wisdom to tell what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. So this is something that we want to share with you. So in the fourth industrial revolution, we believe that we need knowledge worker with growth mindset. Growth mindset is the kind of person always think that I can be better as long as I am willing to learn. Growth mindset. So facing the challenge of AI, humanoid, or even the future trip or migration to the planet Mars, as long as you have growth mindset, you say, I'm okay. I can retire on the planet Mars. Who knows? Maybe possible. Okay, this is growth. That's why growth mindset is very important. And then at the same time, empathy is getting more and more important. Because nowadays, I just share with you, in the old days, we may watch the same drama series, TV drama series. We may read the same newspaper. We may actually watch the same TV broadcast and all the news. So a lot of us have the same thinking, more or less. If you are educated, but nowadays, every one of us, you look at your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, and all that. We are actually looking at different things every day. So naturally, our brain connection and our knowledge, our understanding on certain things, even a simple, very simple thing, may be different. So in the future world, we need more people who are more understanding. We have empathy, who are willing to listen to other people, accepting that everybody may have different opinion, and then willing to come up with a solution. And then dealing and to be more human in the world of robots. So we need to develop this empathy. So again, if you look at this growth mindset and empathy, growth mindset refers to lifelong learning. You see what I mean? And then empathy is about loving kindness, develop loving kindness. Okay, so yeah, and you can see that throughout the whole presentation, these two things always come along, and that help to guide us. Okay, I will share more with you. Okay, what does it mean by growth mindset? According to Professor Carol Dweck of Stanford University, who raised this concept of growth mindset. Now, compared to those with fixed mindset, growth mindset actually is focusing on how we can continue to become better. Okay, to those with fixed mindset, they will say that this is as much as what I can do. This is as much as what I can handle. Okay, then when they may do well in primary school, when they go to the secondary school, if they fail in certain subject, they will say that, yeah, this is my level. Sorry, I cannot learn anymore. But for those people with growth mindset, they're saying that, no, I'm actually not yet at that level. But if I put in efforts, I can be at that level. Okay, so how wonderful this thought is that if you believe that, that means that in future we are still going to face a lot of challenges, a lot of new innovation. But if you have the attitude of the belief in yourself with growth mindset, you're willing to learn anything new. Never mind. Okay, so I now no longer I need to sweep the floor. Never mind, let the robot sweep the floor. I do other things, right? So time will change, things will change, and all that. Growth mindset. Okay, and then look at Silicon Valley. Sometimes people wonder why, after so many years, Silicon Valley continue to be very vibrant. And then they are willing to come up with innovation after innovation. Since 1950s and all that, and then they have a different wave, and you can see they have gone through ups and downs in Silicon Valley. And then after going through the IC era, the personal computer era, internet era, and then social media era, and then now with the AI era. It's always up and down. Why is it so? Because they have the ecosystem of talent development with growth mindset. I mean, over there, people are not afraid of facing failure. If I fail, never mind. I learn. I continue to develop myself. So for innovation, it is very important that you must have this ecosystem that actually values growth mindset. For growth mindset, no matter where, no matter what kind of situation they face, they always try to think about a way to actually solve the problem. And solving a problem, there are also two methods. One is actually how you solve the problem externally. And the other thing is actually how to solve the problem in your heart. How to actually cultivate our mind. I will spend more time later. Okay. Now, empathy, of course, when people talk about empathy, in fact, many technological leaders emphasize the importance of empathy. For Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, actually think that innovations come from having a deep sense of empathy. If you go into the internet, you actually search Satya Nadella and empathy, you have a lot of articles about that one. And then even Apple CEO Tim Cook also say that why Apple product is so useful and people have this, they have a lot of fans. Why is it that they are so loyal to this one? Because inside the product itself, it has a component of heart, not just mind's hand, not just the technology, but the heart. Okay, this is something to share with you. Okay. Now, why is it that all this kind of thing we believe it is important for us to develop both in lifelong learning and loving kindness? Now, I'd like to share with you research results. What is good life? There was in 1938, a very long time ago, over 80 years ago, there were two professors from Harvard University. They actually started a project called Harvard Study of Adult Development. At that time, they actually surveyed over 200 over Harvard University students, and also 400 over people from the poor district and all that. And they actually follow up with them every year to know their condition, their occupation, their marriage status, their well-being and everything for every year for past 80 over years. And they track all of them. And the finding is very interesting. The finding of what leads to a good life is actually good relationships in life. What they find out that all those people, when they were old and when they reached the 80s, 90s, 70s and all that, when you ask them, have you had a good life? And most of them, they found out the correlations is that those who say that, yeah, I had a good life, I have no regrets, or I appreciate whatever I had so far, are normally actually those people that they have good relationship. Not because they actually are rich, not because they are professor in the university, not because they are US president, include that the study include one US president, President Kennedy. Not because they are actually Harvard University student or they are actually from these poor families and all that. It doesn't matter. It always actually goes back to that. Those people who have had good relations. What kind of good relations? It can be family support, husband and wife, or parent and children. It can be friendship. They have good friends. Always go out and makan together, travel together, sing together, or come to BGF together. Yeah, they have something connected and all that. And then also social and community based and all that. So it is not actually connected to how many likes you receive in your Facebook post. It's not. It doesn't matter how many. It's not counted by how many. It's counted by actually how deep the relation is. So this is actually a research from Harvard University. If you go to YouTube or wherever, you always what makes a good life and all that, you can find many sharing from them. So from here, you can know that just now we were asking in education, we want our children to be well, healthy, and happy, and right. So from there, it actually tells us that if from young, when they are growing up and all that, in addition to focusing on their academic result, we should help them to build out a good character, who wants to help people, who are actually having loving kindness. And because of that one, they definitely in future, they will have good relationship because they are kind to people, they care for people. Then, in fact, that one will help them to have a happy life, good life. You understand? So by knowing this one, then a lot of parents will not be so worried that what happened to my children? if certain failure, certain thing and all that, as long as you can actually focus on developing their curiosity and passion in learning, if maybe today they are interested in learning this one, but if they possess the passion of learning, in future they can always shift to other area and become successful. One thing. And the other one is actually loving kindness, helping others and all that. And also with, so that in future they have good relationship and they have a good life. Okay, so this is to share with you. Okay, now by knowing all this one, let's look at the upwards movement, the lifelong learning. So when they do lifelong learning, you also want them to learn the right thing. Am I right? Want to learn it. So there is this knowledge hierarchy. If you learn a lot of data nowadays, data is everywhere. If they know only, if their job is, they only know how to collect data, then very soon the robots and the sensor and all that will actually replace their work. So they need to move on beyond information and then also beyond knowledge, okay? So that they can develop the intelligence and wisdom, as I mentioned to you just now. And when you go upwards, you know the importance of moral and ethical education, okay? Now let's look at it how we are being chased. For example, if data now they have Internet of Things, collecting all kinds of data. Then when we talk about information with Google World, you can find any information you want. Okay, and now even at the knowledge with OpenAI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and all that, they are actually reaching to that level. So we have to go to the intelligence and wisdom era, and that we need to have this growth mindset. Okay. If you want to have the slide, you can get it from the secretariat and all that. Feel free, but feel free to take photo also, because it's with your handphone, you can refer it anytime. Okay, next one. And remember, while we are actually learning and moving towards, and we are using all these tools and all that, remember, there is also a threat to us, no? Okay, let's see what kind of threat, let me see. Okay, for example, I just want to share with you. Nowadays, we use Waze, we use Google Maps a lot of time. Okay, and sometimes I like to ask, if today BGS needs you to send Bante to one location in Kuala Lumpur, and there's no handphone given to you. Do you dare to drive? Sometimes you don't know, no? Nowadays, because we are so dependent of Waze and maps and all that, now we only know go straight, turn right, turn left. Right? We lose the intelligence, navigation intelligence. Sorry. So when AI comes, when robots come, we must be aware that we don't lose out all this intelligence and all that. So that we won't actually have this kind of scenario like in this movie Wall-E. You know, there's a famous Disney movie. In the future, human, they were on these transport machines, and then in front of them is just big screen. So every day, just eat and watch the big screen. This is actually a scenario. So remind yourself, no matter what happens, what comes to us, remember to continue to develop your mind. Very important. Okay, so towards upwards, this kind of learning more about intelligence, developing our intelligence and also our wisdom, it starts with curiosity, right? So as mentioned by Sir Ken Robinson, curiosity is the engine of achievement. So sometimes I heard parents also say, my children, they do not like to learn anything. Then sometimes I ask them why. They say that they love playing games. The curiosity is in the game. Everybody has the curiosity because the structures of our brain, the neurons will make a lot of neuron connection, and through a neuron connection, you learn new things. So it's natural for survival, for anything, we learn something every day. It's just that the curiosity was not on study. The curiosity is actually on games and all that. So it can always be actually transfer or actually how do I say, guided, okay, towards the directions that you want. But at least there's this passion of learning. So in education, we believe that nowadays education should not be like in the industrial manufacturing process. That whatever come in, you just make sure that you choose the right school of a kindergarten, primary, high school, and university. Then everything after graduation from university, then they are ready already. It's no longer like that one. Because along the whole process, there are many things happening. They are learning from the internet. They are learning from everywhere. They are influenced by everywhere. So if you just have a standard set of curriculum like that one, you won't be able to prepare them for the dynamic world. So according to Sir Ken Robinson, he said that we treat education like industrial manufacturing, when in reality it is closer to organic farming. The schools, the university should be like the organic farm. That we still provide them with like sunlight, water, fertilizer and all. So, like for example, we still provide them with a good curriculum, quality training. We still give them a good teachers. We still give them a good facility and conducive environment. This is important. But in that environment, we'll encourage them to learn from each other. We encourage them to develop their interests, have the choice of learning extra beyond the classroom. It's like in organic farming, because that is how you nurture their passion of learning. Instead of saying that, okay, you are taught, you are required to study this page, and tomorrow I'll ask you. That is actually not actually natural. What natural is actually to inspire them so that they can ignite their own fire of interest, so that they do have passions on learning. That is critical, okay, in the organic. And in a farm, I suppose I ask you, when you go to a farm, do you like to see that all the flowers all actually growing up at the same height, same color, and same size? No, right? You want to go to a farm that you come up with all kinds of flowers, different colors, some big, some small, some maybe high, some low, and right? Because everybody has their own strength. So if we can provide the environment, then everybody will grow. Everybody will become more successful in their life. That is how we should be. Okay. So after knowing all this one, let us look at the whole. Sometimes we say about universe, or sometimes we say that maybe just let's start with the planet Earth first. About generations of life on Earth. Okay. Now, if you look at the upper left corner, according to Professor Max Tegmark of MIT, okay, he actually suggests that there are life 1.0, life 2.0, life 3.0. Life for those organisms and living things who are in life 1.0 are those that they still use a gene to transfer to the next generation, which includes human being as well. But because human being has actually created language and also implement education, we have moved to the stage of life 2.0. Because in life, for the living things in life 2.0, they are able to transfer their knowledge during their lifetime to others through education. So living thing is in life, we are living in the life 2.0. So do you remember, I'm not too sure whether I've asked you this question in my previous talk, but now let me ask you again this question. Do you know that recently there was a war between life 1.0 and life 2.0 that you have experienced? Do you remember? It's not about Ukraine war or whatever. Remember COVID? COVID, you have virus, which is life 1.0. Human being, which is life 2.0. So how did we finally won the battle? We know, we spread the knowledge because we have education yet. We spread knowledge that how to actually isolate the patients, how do we wear a mask, how then we develop vaccines and we do vaccination. So we managed to win the battle, but not the war yet. Because the virus also knows how to react. So they actually have mutations and all that. So they become easier to spread and less harmful. So they coexist with us. So that's why I say the war is not yet over. More likely is actually we have to coexist together in future. Okay, then of course, you see, we always like to come up with something extra new one. So in fact, I also mentioned that beyond Life 2.0, in fact, maybe we don't know, we have created Life 2.1a as well, because human world has created a totally new digital world. And a lot of people are living both in the physical world and also the digital world. And their character in the digital world may be different from their characters in the real world. Right? So this is Life 2.1a and Life 2.1b. Who knows? Artificial intelligence themselves. Uh, in future, there may be many ChatGPT, many DeepSeek in organization, in family, and all that, and they form their own community. They interact with their own community. They create their own Life 2.0 world. So when it comes to in future Life 3.0, superhuman and intelligent AI, that is the time that we have to coexist. In future, maybe we can replace our organ and all that. We can live longer as a superhuman in that sense. But the intelligence robot will be more intelligent. But as I mentioned to you, just now I raised the question of the COVID, right? We have to coexist. If not, who knows, maybe we cannot fight with them. You never know. Okay, let's move on. So this world this is first time in the history that of Earth that besides the carbon-based civilization where all the living things are carbon-based. In our molecule, we always have carbon molecule, carbon atom. But these silicon-based civilizations with chip and all that, they are actually being formed first time on Earth that they have their civilization. So if you don't understand, you remember you watch a movie Star Wars, you watch the Transformer. These are all silicon-based civilization. So in future and near future, no, they will be on their own. Okay, I think I've been. I need to make it faster. Okay, sorry. Too many things to share. Sorry. Okay, so by knowing all this one, let's come back to the brain. You see, our brain, we have neurons, we have 100 billion neurons. Every one of us having about same number. Not saying that the smarter one will have more neurons, basically 100 billion neurons. And each neuron is connected with 1,000 over other neurons. Okay? And that's why we have over 100 trillion neurons connections, neuron connection, something at the back covered by the picture already. Neuron connection, 100 trillion neuron connections. So all these neuron connections are the one that captures our learning, our experience when we were young. All capture it. So every one of us has different connection in our brain. That's why sometimes we say why you think differently? Because you can always answer, because our neural connections are different. Isn't it? Because going out in different community, different culture, different family values and all that, this set up all different connections, neuron connection. That's why we behave differently. Okay? So, and look at the next slide. Hey, sorry. This is actually done by Google engineers. This, the one light blue one, is the neuron. And all the others connection is the connection of this neuron to other neurons. There's only one neuron in this. And all the other complex, complicated connections are the connection from this neuron to other neurons. So you can see that. And inside there, we have 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion neuron connections. So how complicated it is inside there. Okay? And the strength of each connections will actually, you know that during the thinking process, when we actually use our eyes, use our ear and all that, when we receive information, all this one will trigger different components, different networks of neurons in our brain, and then activate certain action from there. Okay, so from there you know that how you want to actually improve or control or develop your character is how you actually shape the neurons. And because of this principle, the deep learning approach in the AI, they are trying to actually copy or actually follow this process and develop all these ChatGPT and DeepSeek and all that. So what they do is actually, like for example, ChatGPT, okay? ChatGPT actually, if you look at it, when GPT 1.0, inside there, this network have 120 million parameters. Now, each parameter in this artificial neural network, each parameter is refers to like a connection in our brain. No, the connection of each parameter is like that. So because in our brain we can have strong connection and weak connection. So in the AI, artificial neural network, all the parameters, it has value associated with it. So maybe value of 1.0, it means a strong link. Value of 0.01, weak link. Okay, so it's how? So for GPT 1.0, it has 120 million parameters and it used 11,000 books and with 985 million words to train it. Okay, then when it comes to GPT 2.0, they make it even more complex, 1.5 billion parameters. And that time they use 45 million web pages to train. So the more they learn, the more intelligent they become. So this again tells us that if we want to train our brain, learn more, read more. It's natural process. Just like why ChatGPT becomes so intelligent in that sense, because it reads a lot of books. Okay, then you come to GPT 3.0, 175 billion parameters, and then in this case 400 billion words and all that. So sometimes people ask, how come ChatGPT knows grammar? Did he actually learn from a grammar school teachers? No. It's because from reading a lot of text and all that. So naturally, inside the calculation, they know that the probability of using this word and not other word is higher. So naturally, you use all this, what they have learned, and naturally come up with the sentence, which to us is full with grammar correctness, but to him, he doesn't understand. Because he just said this is the way how it is used in all the documents he learned. So because of this one, yes?
So does it mean that ChatGPT needs bigger and bigger server or more servers?
It needs, with each iteration, each generation, normally they will actually include more bigger network, more parameters, and then more and more server needed. More and more server needed. All right. Okay. So this is how it. So people are asked, how come he understand Chinese? How come he understand BM and all that? It's because from all the text and all that, we will actually improve on that part. Improve it. So again, reading. Do more reading. Is very important to develop. And a lot of times, since we are talking about reading, is that now we may be actually spending some time to watch the TikTok videos every day. But even after you have actually gone through, watch 1,000 videos, sometimes the information or the knowledge you acquire may not be enough because it is so fast. Our biological neuron connection cannot cope with that fast, that speed. That's why sometimes after watching 1,000, you may roughly know about this one, but you don't feel that you learn a lot. So the best way of learning is still through reading, because we are using biological neurons, to do the learning. Okay, next one. So basically, how do they train? Is that, for example, there's a simple network with some hidden layers in between. All these represent the neuron connection with the parameters that you can set it to 0 to 1 to show the strength and all that. So, for example, how do they train? Actually, they pass the images, photos of the cats going, each image of cat going in, then there's a mechanism to adjust the parameters, the connection, so that finally the output is a cat. So after inputting all many hundreds of thousands of all these cat images, you train the network so that it can recognize all the cats. Even some photos that you have not shown it before. That's how it runs. Then after that, try with the dogs, try with others, and slowly, it's just like our education process. When we were young, we were small, then our parents also tell you that this is rice, this is soup, this is sugar, this is what? This is how we learn. Now, that's how ChatGPT and all this have been trained, by feeding a lot of this information, by actually adjusting the parameters inside there, so that once this is fixed, once this is done, the different combination of this one will be able to be used to recognize, to communicate, to process and deliver their knowledge. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
This is a very basic understanding. Okay, so by understanding this one, then we know how to handle. That's the importance of this. Okay, so that's why now you look at neurons. We have 100 trillion neuron connection, human being, and you look at GPT-4. Is also, accordingly, it depends on the sources. Some sources say that it's 1.76 trillion parameter. Some say maybe up to 100 trillion parameter. It was not disclosed. But you can see that this is trillion connection, trillion parameter. That was trillion connection. It is as complicated, as complex as human brain. That's why you may see this human-like kind of intelligence. Okay, so how real are challenges from robots and AI? You look at the lower left, from Boston Dynamics, it can run like human being and all that. And I'll show you some more, which is more interesting as well. Okay, so by combinations of AI and robots, basically you have all these intelligent humanoids coming out. So you may see that, this kind of thing maybe still need to wait for a long time. But the latest development is telling us that it's not true. It's coming very fast. Just now you mentioned 11:30, is it?
Yeah.
11:30, okay. So now I would like to actually show you some videos. Okay, maybe you have seen this one. Okay, like this one is from China, company called Unitree. And you look at these 4-leg robots, you can see what these 4-leg robots can do. When you are watching this video, I hope that you can also think inside your mind, what kind of a work, what kind of job, if you have this kind of robots, you plan to use it for. Okay, think about it. Let's see this video. Okay, what can you do? It's in the market, or going to be the market soon. Yeah.
In rescue work.
In a rescue work. Yes.
In dangerous areas where, say, high radiation, humans cannot go.
Yes.
Risky areas. It's very useful.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, you are right. And then it can be also the Grab food driver. Yeah. No? All this and that. So you can see this is how advanced, This, if you actually, just a year ago, you won't see this. You can see the development and all that. Okay. And then, next, I will show you, this is 4-leg one. Let's look at 2-leg one. This one is actually in the market. I heard that one humanoid like this one is actually 16,000 US dollars. One of them. And then you can now buy at home, and then you set up, and then you train it at home so that he knows how to do all the basic things and all that. Who knows, maybe next year the price will drop below 5,000 US dollars. So let's say, for example, if you want to hire a maid, how much it costs every month? A few thousand, right? So 12 months and all that, you can buy one such thing already. Let's see how. You can see that it's actually the video.
This robot may be one of the smoothest running humanoids out there. Or at least that's what the robotics company behind it is saying. Unitree first announced its latest humanoid robot, the G1, back in May of 2024, and has recently released a video showing off some of its new capabilities in what they're calling an agile upgrade. Standing at 4 feet 3 inches tall and weighing about 77.2 pounds, the G1 comes in both shorter and lighter than the 5 foot 8 inches tall, 170-pound Optimus, a similar looking humanoid robot announced by Tesla. Its smaller size may indeed give it that extra edge in terms of agility. In the video released by Unitree, the G1 seems to navigate tougher inclines and jog over rougher terrain than in the past. This, in part, is thanks to its 3D LiDAR and depth camera, helping it to map out its surroundings. According to Unitree, the G1 can run for up to 2 hours on a single charge. And if you need it for longer, it now has a quick-release battery system that's meant to make swaps both faster and easier. If you're considering getting your hands on a G1 robot, it's actually available for purchase, but it comes with a hefty price tag, starting at $16,000. Still, that's significantly less than the estimated $20,000 to $30,000 Tesla Optimus. Ultimately, the G1 robot is designed with developers and researchers in mind, rather than the average consumer. The G1 offers an open-source framework and developer-focused design, making it an attractive choice for university labs and research institutions.
And then it's available in the market. So if we look at this one, so things will change. Things will change. And then who knows, maybe 1 year, 2 years and all that. Previously, in the previous talk, I was still saying 5 years, 10 years. In this talk, I was saying 1 year, 2 years and all that. And also, it is not a single robot. No? It's swarm of robots. Swarm of robots, a lot of them. And then not just like humanoid or 4-leg. It can be like insects, bees, mosquito, flies and all that may be coming to do the surveillance and all that. All is possible. So in this kind of challenge and all that, you find out it's not just about how we react, how we want to learn, but also that it's like you're facing a big potential competitors or enemy. And in this time of in this stage of time and all that, you need to know that your heart, your mind power must be strong as well, willing to face it and all that. So we'll work on this further. Like the OpenAI Sora, you look at the next slide. So that all the video it can generate, this kind of thing, by giving a description, it can generate all these kind of very realistic videos and all. And nowadays, using deepfake and all that, there are a lot of videos that is you need to have use your intelligence and wisdom to know whether it's true or not. Okay, so thinking about the AI era, okay, we are already actually having this AI era influence already. The first time is actually social media. All your social media, your actually the background algorithms is the one that is driven by AI. So it knows you better than you now. Because sometimes you don't realize that you like this kind of content, but from your pattern of browsing and all that, they know this is your trend. Okay, and then of course, it's driven by AI algorithm is attention economy. So every social media apps, they are trying to actually let you spend more time with the apps so that addiction becomes a reality. And how to actually have self-awareness so that you can resist this attraction and stop viewing and stop browsing. That comes to your mind power. Okay, and one way is actually sometimes if you are pushed with all kinds of content that you think you may not want to browse more or whatever, you can always use the search function. Because the moment you search some material, the algorithm will know that you like to know more about it and they'll push more of this kind to you. So this is how you can interact with AI, let AI knows what you need. Okay, and the other thing is actually now with the AI, artificial intelligence, is even more. Why? Because currently the social media content, you still need people to write the script, still people to do something, then it will be uploaded to the social media. But now with AI, they can generate, if you like this kind of short video, they can generate thousands of such short video for you. Never ending. There's never ending for you to view whatever you want. It's no longer like last time we read newspaper. Or after flipping all this one, done. Today I have done my homework of reading. But now in future, if people are addicted to this one, there's always no ending because AI can generate all kinds of content to suit your needs. Then every single one you watch, you say, oh yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like this. How come? Then addicted now. So that means this is a time that we have to train our mind better so that you have this self-awareness. You know, entertainment is entertainment when you stop. So it actually brings us to this point that how do we actually have a focus and mindful life is getting more and more important. So for those who want to know more about AI era, you can go to YouTube to search for these two documentary type of movies. Just 1 hour, but I would like to strongly recommend to you to watch it. And you can watch it with your family members because everybody now are trapped. And this is really good movies. You just go to YouTube, search for social dilemma or AI dilemma. The same team, after AI comes out and all that, they also produce another movie called AI dilemma. Social dilemma and AI dilemma. I will encourage you to watch with your family members together because all of us are experiencing this. Okay. And in fact, if you look at this one, according to Professor Harari, he wrote this book, famous book, Sapiens, Homo Deus, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. In fact, he said that in the future world, we actually need two skills. These are the two essential skills we need in the future. The first one is actually adaptability and keep learning. Remember just now I told you, lifelong learning, growth mindset is related to this one. And second skill is mental balance and emotional intelligence. The one I mentioned to you about loving kindness, about empathy, this is something that mental balance and emotional intelligence. In fact, in his more recent talks, he believed that skill number 2 is more important than skill number 1. Because you may possess the intelligence to do fantastic work, but emotionally, if you are not stable, you may do more harm. You know that. Then in his book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, in the last chapter, actually Professor Harari also mentioned in that book, no, how he is actually able to come up with all these kind of insights that all the books are bestseller, and a lot of leaders in the industry, in the countries and all that refer to his book. How he's able to come up with all this insight and opinion. He said because since many years ago, every day he practiced meditation. In his book, this book, last chapter, Vipassana. Vipassana. You check and see. You see that how by training this one, he can see the world better. You can find out more about this one. So by knowing this one, you can see that in the world, things are also changing. Okay, like for example, in the World Economic Forum, when they mention about 21st century skills, they say that first you must have the foundation literacy in many areas. That means every area you need to know a little bit. Okay, and then you need to have this competency, the 4C: critical thinking, creativity, communications, and collaboration, that you can bring with you, transfer skill from one job to the other job, from one environment to the environment. You always need this 4 skill. And also character building. So education now more and more is not just knowledge, skill, acquisition. It's more about the character building of the person, and that continue with the passion of learning, with empathy, they are able to develop a better life in that sense. And even OECD countries, they also say that they have come up with this Learning Compass 2030. They say that in future, if you can help the children to develop this compass in life, then they know this is the direction I want to move on. Then I follow this one with values, skills, attitudes, and knowledge, should be able to cope with the latest challenge. So you are seeing this one. So from all those that we know that, and so far what we have discussed, I believe that we know that in the world nowadays, it is very important for us about learning of heart or mind. Heart in meaning is basically the mind, how you develop your mind to come up with all these kind of good characters and all that. And according to Professor Angela Duckworth, she has written a very famous book called Greed. She say that she say that the secret to outstanding achievement is not talent, but a special brand of passion and persistence she calls grit. Okay. Now she has surveyed many successful people. Then she has also surveyed that in military schools in US, they are all have gone through tough training. But why some become successful, some not successful? It's all because of this greed. So for those people with talent, they must put in efforts. Then they train out their skill. And then after, even if it's skill, they must put into works. They must practice it. And then with achievement. This is something that, so the ability to train people, willing to face the challenge and continue to put emphasis is the key part. That's why now when we talk about 3 factors of success, we know about intelligence quotient, IQ, we know about emotional quotient, okay, but also adversity quotient. Because life is full with uncertainty, okay. If we say how we actually overcome this challenge, willing to live with the world with dukkha. How do you understand it? How you face it, right? So that's why this adversity quotient was written by Paul Stokes, and you can find out Like just like I can't do it, just cut that part, I can do it. Okay. So now by knowing all this one about the development of mind, now the last part of this talk, we will now move to the mind development. Okay, now knowing all these things and now we understand the importance of mind development, let's go in. Now, according to Professor Richard Davidson, very famous psychology professors, he actually said that the mental challenges in this world, a lot of people, the very common one are these four challenges. First one, distraction. Now, people nowadays very easy that they can be distracted. All right? For example, we are watching movies at home. So after 5 minutes, you think that it's a bit slow, the progress of the story. So what do? Pass over or pick up or reach out to your handphone, check some messages. Okay? Then after that, put it back and then continue. After another 5 minutes, reach out to the phone again. So throughout the whole experience of watching the movie, your feeling is up, down, depending on many things and all. So there's no joy of nowadays of watching, being actually focused, being actually having this flow state in just enjoying watching the movie. Then this is not only watching movie, eating, talking, driving, and everything we are filled with all kinds of thought and all that. Then you see, we are not like laptop or computers. No, ours is actually one biological brain, and this biological brain, if you know, all the neurons are connected together. It cannot be said that, oh, I think about this problem, I put it in by using this compartment. Then this one using this part, and don't interfere among themselves. No, they are naturally connected, so they may influence and all that. And because of that one, without this calm mind, we find out that we are easily distracted, frustrated, and sometimes the other thought, loneliness, negative self-thought, and depressions all come up. And slowly, loss of meaning and purpose in life. Because it just cannot manage anymore. There are so many things coming out. And every day, you reach out and news, WhatsApp, all kinds of news and all that, all kinds of, and even the interactions among people, you also sometimes don't know who are really friends, who are not. Right? So in this case, it's very important that Professor Richard Davidson has written this book, Authored Traits, that I would recommend you to read. Is co-authored with Daniel Goleman, the author of the Emotional Intelligence. They have actually gone to use fMRI machine to detect the brain wave and all that and do this study experiment. And they show that science reveals how meditation changes your mind, brain, and body. They say there's a way we can control, or there's a way we can improve through meditation. I will share with you more. So sometimes we are always distracted by many things and thoughts. Sometimes please pay attention to bring back your attention to your own. And we always contact people through the internet and social media. Please remember to call your inner self sometimes, self-awareness. Okay? Why is it so? Because according to two Harvard professors, they say that according to their research, a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. They have done a survey, they found that most of the time when people say that they are not unhappy, most likely they are actually having a wandering mind. They are not focused on whatever task and work they are doing now. Just imagine if I'm giving you the thought, and at the same time, every 5 minutes or every 1 minute, I come up with another thought. I won't be able to so come and so happy to share with you. We have to be focused and all that. Okay, think about it. Because nowadays we think there are two mind skills, essential mind skills we need to develop. What are they? First of all, we need to develop a focused mind and also mindfulness to handle and adapt to external challenges. That's one thing, because outside is changing so fast. So if you have a troubled mind and disrupted mind, you cannot handle all the changes. What you can do is that at any one time focus on certain thing. Focus mind, very mindful. Be mindful about what you're doing, very important. And at the same time, inner part, you cannot go with the changes in outside, because you have to have a calm mind, okay, and also meditation inside there, so that you can actually deal with the changing outside world. These are the two essential mind skills. Remember why focus is important? The next slide show you. Imagine the cliff climber, okay? Why they love this kind of sport? It's very dangerous. The moment they are not careful, but because it's so dangerous, so when they are climbing, they have to be fully 100% focused on certain things, and their mind inside there is calm. They like this kind of experience. Remember, in life, sometimes you may have this kind of situation that you love doing certain thing and time pass so fast. Already 5 o'clock. Already what time already? That time you were in a flow state. In a flow state. In fact, if when we do a lot of things, we can focus, be mindful about certain things. You can actually experience this kind of flow state all the while. You can actually experience this flow state all the time and all that. Okay, according to the psychology. Let me see. Miali, I think. Okay. According to this professor, he was the one who actually wrote a few books on flow. He actually say that sometimes when you do some work, if the work that you are doing is too simple, then most likely sometimes we do multitasking. If the load or the work that assigned to us is too difficult, then very fast we lose interest. So how to reach flow state? Assign yourself with a work which is actually slightly above our current capability, and because of that one, you need to focus, and because you focus, it's easier for you to reach the flow state. So sometimes you apply this into education. Sometimes if the student is currently at this stage, but you try to ask him to learn at this stage, no matter how many resources you put in, it may be actually a big challenge. But if he is currently at this stage and you assign something slightly above, then he can focus, and then he managed to achieve it, and then he have the joy of attaining the success. He have the joy of actually having this flow state. He enjoy the fruit of learning, and the neural connections are connected more, strengthened, and all that. So in future, he likes to learn more and more. This is something to share with us. The same thing that they say, this can be applied to work as well. Okay. So according to Daniel Goleman, he wrote this book, Emotional Intelligence and Social Intelligence. So when handphone, the smartphone was rolled out to the market, he wrote this book, Focus. He said this is the hidden driver of excellence. Then later, the book Author Traits and all that. And in the book, Focus, he mentioned about 3 things. He mentioned focus is actually first inner focus, self-awareness. Then focus on others, empathy. And then focus on the surrounding so that you have a system awareness. 3 kinds of focus every leader needs, according to Daniel Goleman. Okay. We have 10 minutes more. Okay. So formation of inner world, as you know, we are actually receiving information from our eyes, our ears, our nose, our skin, our tongue, and all that. And also, it's not the full spectrum, it's only certain spectrum of information we receive. And this is how we shape our life, our brain. For example, these 5 babies, when they were young and all that, through education, through experience, through culture, through values, they develop to 5% which may have different characters. Okay, so just like another example that you are experiencing. In fact, every one of you is actually educating and training a student. Every one of you is actually educating and training a student all the time. Let me share with you this simple story. Simple example. If now every one of you, I give you the latest, uh, which brand of the handphone you like, maybe I give you each one of you the latest Apple handphone. Every one of you, same the latest product, Apple handphone. So you open it and look at all the application installed and everything look the same. So after a month, you come back again. You look at what is inside your Apple phone. Every one of you is different. So in fact, you are training the student, the handphone. We are training every day by leaving different message inside there, by actually installing different application and all. So how your handphone will be is shaped by all your activities every day. The same thing, all right? The same thing is also like that. So education is like that one. Education is like that one. How we are actually educating our own children, our students. It's like what you want to do with your handphone. No? If your handphone you install all kinds of unknown apps, then suddenly you may be cheated, or maybe actually some problem with the handphone not working. It's because there are too much of bad influence. All right, maybe. Oh, so think about this one. Who knows? No, in future when every household have the robots, you also need to train the robot. So if you if you don't train the robot properly, the robots can actually outside the street can actually do harmful things. Possible because they are not properly trained. Okay, so it's because of neuroplasticity. Everybody can do lifelong learning because how you connect. So that's why how do we cultivate our mind every day is important in shaping our experience. Because remember, from newborn to adult, we actually set out all these neuron connections, and the construction and maintenance of brain neuron connections network through family, culture, religion, values, education, experience, internet, and everything. So we are actually shifting ourselves because neuroplasticity, we can build new neural connections. So that means that you can also use this to change our bad habits. It's possible. All these neural connections that are not so good, you continue to do good things. Then slowly, all those not used one, the network will actually will lose the connections and all that. This is how. That's why, according to Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, okay, Professor Daniel Kahneman, he wrote this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, very popular book and all. He said actually our brain always have these two systems. System one is very fast. System one is based on all the existing neuron connection we have already. System two is actually need some thinking. Like for example, you go to this buffet and suddenly you find a dish that you have not tasted before, right? So you think twice and then later you choose that one. Now after tasting it and you find it that this is good, then what you do? Next time when you see the same dish, you take it. So this is how system one and system two are doing. So that means that we can always, although system one naturally we can't control ourselves, we will grab our handphone every time. But system two, the self-awareness tells us that you can develop the neuron connection so that you have some resistance on getting your handphone. This is possible with self-awareness. Okay? So why I'm saying so, you can see that inside this presentation, it touches on a lot on mind development. Because why? We cannot say that because of AI is coming, then we prepare for AI. Because technological development in future, There are many more things, no? In future, we may be able to achieve nuclear fission, metaverse, and then we may do interstellar travel and all that. So to prepare for all these journeys, if you can develop a strong mind and strong and steady mind, you'll be able to face all the challenges. Okay, as what Charles Darwin has mentioned, it is not the strongest or the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Remember? So in terms of level of education, they are actually come back to the original slide we have. Okay, let you all finish taking the photo. Okay, is this one. Remember just now, the initial part, there is this education for survival and work. Okay, so you develop, depending on different scenario, you develop this survival kit and survival skill, and then in order to do the work, you actually acquire the knowledge, you get the degree, you prepare ourselves, continue to do lifelong learning. But remember, this is not the full things of education. There's also about education for living, how you actually appreciate living itself. Because it's important, because although you can earn money, please also develop your skill in appreciating living, helping others and all that. And then also about life education. Then you understanding the meaning of your life, and then you know our responsibility to the earth, you know about your responsibility, you know about how things change, and you know about Dharma, you know about cause, effect, condition, and many things. When you look at it, you'll be able to accept it and live with it, right? So that in future, what is going to happen to you, you understand the meaning of the dependent originations, you understand about cause and effect, you won't ask, why am I the one who suffer? Right? Sometimes in world is like that one. You understand it, but you live with it. And in the future, there are a lot of uncertainty. It's through this mind that you are able to overcome all these challenges. Just like this. See? Just like this iceberg. The one normally we see above the sea level, we try to shape it. But the inner strength itself, the one beneath, which is a big portion of it, if through our cultivation of our mind, if through our regular exercise of changing our neuron connection, now you understand why, right? By actually exposing it to good influences, exposing it to good environment, and continue to cultivate and build up this internal strength, and of course develop your calm mind, focused mind through meditations and others, you should be able to face all the challenges, including the AI and humanoid challenge. So with this one, I like to actually say thank you and enjoy learning. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.